Welcome back. If you witness a crime or learn that a crime has been committed, are you legally obligated to report it? And what happens if you don't? Well, that's the focus of tonight's Legal Edge. I asked local attorney Bryan Waldman those very questions.
So, Bryan, is there a legal obligation to report a crime when someone knows about it?
Siobhan, this is tricky. As a general rule, no, there is no duty, but there are exceptions, and there are some circumstances where it does become important to report a crime. This law starts back in Old English times under English common law. There was a crime called misprision of a felony, which required people to report a felony if they were aware of it, turn someone in, and if they didn't, it was a misdemeanor. Now, in England and in other places, people decided that was too harsh. They did away with the law. And in Michigan, there is no misprision of a crime or misprision of a felony as a crime. But that doesn't mean that you can actively take steps to avoid or hide that a crime has been committed. Under the current federal law, there has to be some active attempt to conceal a crime for someone to actually be successfully charged with misprision of a felony. So it doesn't create this duty to come forward just because you have information. It has to do more with preventing people from taking active steps to conceal. And of course, sometimes there's an interplay there with a person's Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination.
So we know there is no legal obligation to report a crime, but you did say that there are some exceptions. So can we talk about those?
There are important exceptions, and they have to do with exceptions where there's an actual statute or law that gives someone an affirmative duty to come forward and report. For example, in Michigan, we have a statute that says if certain healthcare professionals are aware of elder abuse or someone being taken advantage of who's elderly, there's an obligation to come forward and report. Similarly, certain healthcare officials or certain healthcare providers and school officials have an obligation to come forward and report, even if they're suspicious of child abuse, to come forward to certain authorities and report those types of crimes. So in those cases, there's an affirmative duty, but as a general rule, just a general member of the public, to my knowledge, has no duty to come forward, Siobhan.